Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series. And today we'll be checking out the work of AMO, or AMO 59320. Basically, AMO. Now, I found this artist via Twitter actually, and I'm gonna be focusing more on the past work of this artist because you do see a theme here. If you focus on this section right here, you will feel a sense of movement. Obviously very character based. It's about people, but whenever just seeing this like series of images, I feel movement, like they're doing something. It's not super like crazy or wild, but there's definitely some kind of movement. It isn't some kind of like basic like elevation view where it's just like a character posing in this very generic pose. Like they're moving. I would say it's even more dynamic than say like manga pages or comic book pages, or even certain storyboards. Like it's sort of like a freeze frame, like a frame of something. Now I think I did find these, or I found these ones first via Twitter. I believe these are Naruto characters, but yeah, I remember seeing these bunch and I was just so impressed. Obviously, there's no color; it's just black and white. But there's such energy in these specific sketches. I like this one too. Oh my, nice abs here. But look at how simple it is. If we zoom in here, the line work isn't even that like perfect. It almost seems like it was done in one go. Now, obviously, it's hard to say if that's what actually happened, but the point is the energy is pretty much undeniable. I do like the texture. To me, it's a bit big actually, but I think it works. Because I think this thing is meant to be viewed from afar anyway. But zooming in, I just like the pen strokes. There is sort of a fluidity. I feel like they're using some kind of felt tip pen where the end bleeds a bit, right? In the beginning and in the end of the stroke, there's sort of this bleeding effect that happens. And yeah, you do see that movement, like they're running, like they're about to do something, which I do like. And I do like that they're obviously way more focused on like characters in the moment. I think I've tackled a few artists who do this kind of work. There's just something about it that makes it so attractive. Because even if you're seeing this image in a very small way, because if you look at Pinterest, you know how most of the images are displayed in a very like thumbnail-sized view. But if it's interesting enough in that sort of viewpoint, there's definitely something in that image that works, right? Because if it's so small, or if it's smaller than most images, but it makes you want to click it, then clearly it's doing something right. Even without color, there's just something about it. This one seems more like a standard. It's not as dynamic as these like ones. I mean, even the hands here. Oh my god. Oh, look at those abs. Anyway, so it's they're fighting, I think, and they're sort of what are these, the parents or something? I mean, I know Naruto, but I haven't seen like the anime. I know. This one's nice, right? Let's just zoom in here. So I think they're using some kind of almost like a ballpoint pen or some. Like it's definitely an inked, like you can see it's heavy in the black a bit, but it's being influenced by the pen pressure, so it sort of fades out in some of the strokes. So yeah, it does have that ballpoint view, but ballpoint type look, pen look, but it's so gestural, right? It's so energetic. And I mean, I know people sometimes will like lower the opacity of this initial sketch and then they'll do like a more finished looking kind of line work in ink. I mean, yeah, it works, but I think sometimes you do lose a bit of this energy in the beginning, and there's just something about seeing these sorts of energetic strokes, even if you miss it sometimes. Like you can feel the intention almost. Even if you don't get something right, if the intention is sort of seen, I think something just sticks, right? Like it's such a happy sketch. There's a bit of blur I've noticed in the edge, right? And I think it sort of helps compensate or overcome that, because it can be sometimes too sketchy. So having a bit of like blur in the edges helps you to focus a bit more on a specific something. In this case, it's gonna be her face or this expression of hers, right? Right? Even the colors, it's just like three major. We have like a red pink, sort of like a skin color here for the dress. We have the skin, we have the hair, and then we have the actual top. But even the folds are not that defined, right? But you can definitely tell that something is folding and that she's moving. Even the hair sort of adds to her moving. It's almost like you're seeing her, like you're taking a photograph of her kind of in the moment. Again, it's all about movement. But this one seems a bit more like still, like a photo shoot. Oh shit, there was this artist. I was watching this artist named qrbits on YouTube, and she was talking about the difference between like photo shoot, her video on expressions, I believe it's a recent video, but there's a difference between like photo shoot reference photos or like images or poses and like response, I forgot the actual word, but or response kind of poses or expressions. One seems more like this one seems more like a photo shoot where they're looking at the camera, but they're kind of in a, it's almost like a, like just look at any pose in a fashion magazine or in an Instagram pose. They tend to be these types where it's more, oh wow. It reminds me a bit of that anime where the chick was wearing, it's a girl anime. It's focused on like girls, and she was like wearing a sailor uniform, I think. Like she really wanted like to wear that specific uniform. I forgot the name. Akeri something. The face kind of anatomy or proportions remind me of that. And even the leggings a bit maybe. I'm not sure. But obviously this one is in black. But yeah, this is definitely more of like a fashion oh wow, a fashion magazine kind of pose where it's not like it's interesting, but it's not natural in a way. It looks good, but it's not natural. Sometimes this artist will have like images like this where it's, I guess it's not really like a response or like a natural like pose. It's also not a photo shoot, but it's more of like a poster. Like it's very focused on a specific sort of moment, very intentional, and it has that like movie poster wallpaper kind of vibe. I do like the colors here though. Yeah, it's still flat, meaning flat colors are used, but there is a bit of gradient you can tell with this guy's coat. It gets lighter and then it gets darker here as you go further down. It's a very simple way of coloring, but it works really well with line work. And it shows you that you don't always have to paint everything. You can just do like a very simple line sketch and then add some flats and then just add a bit of gradients or use a soft brush to it kind of helps diversify the flats and make it look less, well, flat. But yeah, even the sweat, that's sweat, or is it sweat or rain? I think it's rain, and this guy's kind of covering up him or covering him up a little bit or watching over him. Maybe this guy is dead or something. This was the same thing. It's more of like a movie poster almost, right? or a wallpaper. Lots of narrative in the work. Now this one seems more natural. But this one, it seems like less of a photo shoot kind of vibe. It's more of like a natural response of someone, right? Oh, this one is a bit more painted, right? You still see some gradients here, especially with this kind of reflected thing here. Left hand side, right? A bit of a variation in the gradient, but the way the shadows are done, even the skin, you can tell here in the elbow and even in the face, you can tell the brush strokes are definitely there. But again, it's still like moving, like you've captured the moment somehow. Now this one seems more like a photo shoot sort of pose, kind of a cutesy. Oh, nice feet. Right? I don't see much gradients. Maybe this is more of a sketch, maybe. Oh wow, I'm not sure how to feel about this. Oh, it's like an emotional moment. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of something very different when... Easy, calm the F down. I do like the sketchy vibe a bit. The vibe, for example, if you look at the line work, it's not always gonna... It's not clean, right? There's sort of a roughness to it, which is fine. And I don't see gradients. It seems very almost like cell shaded, right? It does get a bit more painterly maybe in the clothing, but not that much. Like it's still kind of hard to see the brush strokes because they're using some kind of basic round brush, I think. But yeah, they're definitely not afraid to use like really dark. It's not black. I don't think it's black. I think it's a really dark gray. First of all, for the shadow here, I think that's being projected by this guy on top. And then the shadows in the pants, right? And you can see a bit of that shadow in the face too. Kind of being in the lower half of the face. Like the guy's head on top has its own shadow in the face of this guy at the bottom. Is this some kind of net? Seems kind of kinky. Hard to say. But this one seems more like a narrative. Like a natural moment, right? Oh, I love the shadows here. Oh, and I do like this kind of effect where the thing in light is just in white, but the skin, the one that's in shadow is it has the color, or the part of the skin that has shadow does have the color, but the part that's being that's in light is just white. Hopefully you got my drift, but yeah. Here we have, usually the background is just white, but this one, they did add like a basic blue color to maybe help the characters pop out even more. But it's still the same vibe. It's almost like a rough line work, rough sketch, but the colors are kind of flat. But overall, there is this sense of like movement that's happening. And they do like adding this sort of like stuff, like petals or flowers, like something is moving in the background. And I think it really helps to, or particles, it really helps to add a bit of atmosphere maybe. And I think it also contributes a little bit to that overall movement that happens. Now this one seems more like a photo shoot. You would see these types of poses in like magazines again. And if you look at like a lot of fashion illustrations, they tend to elongate like the limbs of people. And I do see a little bit of that here, or being done with these sketches. Kinda sensual in a way, right? Ooh. I'm not sure if that's the mouth or they're eating some kind of strawberry. Armpit. Nice toe here. The line work is kind of smooth or kind of a rough too. I do think they do this in the first try. Let me have some coffee here. Now just from this pose, you can tell it really looks like a what? Like a poster, like a movie, film poster, wallpaper. But again, it still has what? The movement, right? And you could do so much with this kind of approach where the background is just like white, but the characters are doing something in the moment. Yeah, the photo shoot kind of poses are cool, but once in a while having these like, it's almost like narrative art or some kind of like it makes you think almost. And in a way, it sort of requires a bit more of a higher IQ. I feel like I'm saying it so wrong, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not just a generic, like, it's not something for the masses. Like, it makes you want to just look a little more into the piece, right? There's a concept artist, I forgot his name. Alex? Is it Alex something? Damn, I'm forgetting his name. I'll try to link it in the description below, but they also have this kind of vibe, especially when it comes to this specific piece where it's concept art, but it there's a bit of a narrative going on. Like, it makes you think. It's not just like a cool knight with like a really nice looking sword or something. God, that's pissing me off that I can't remember his name, but oh, look at this close-up. Oh wow, right? This could be like an album cover, wallpaper, movie poster. Oh, I love the texture of that pen. Looks really natural to me. When it comes to the colors, it's still mostly like cell shaded. It doesn't seem painted in any way. But it works, right? The background is flat, the background being the sky. And the colors of the character and the bicycle, it's all like flatly rendered. Cell shaded stuff, but in the background, in the actual like buildings, I think it is painted a bit. This one is definitely way more, it's kind of like this one too, but it's more cinematic, right? This one definitely is like for a film, cinematic, movie poster. Maybe it could be like a book cover for an art book for a specific sort of project, like an anime or something. I think there's two people here and someone perhaps is drowning. Let me just zoom in here. Maybe, yeah, I think someone caught someone drowning, or maybe both of them fell in the water. But look at that water-like effect, right? Oh my god, look at that. I do see a bit of noise added in the end. It just helps to make it look even more like cinematic even, but also it helps ties everything together, right? Because oftentimes you add like different styles. For example, this part of the water, it's a bit realistic, but the way the characters are, obviously it's in anime style, right? So you're combining sort of this stylized look with a bit of realism. I'm adding a bit of noise, I think, along with some like gradient stuff, gradient effects, and other adjustment layers. But definitely the end being like adding that noise, it just sort of makes everything just one, right? It's like the finishing touch. So yeah, that's it for this art review of AMO. I do recommend the sketchier stuff more, kind of like this one. I mean, you can check the more cinematic, more like movie poster stuff, but I think you will really enjoy these types more, just because it's so fun to look at. It's so playful. I will also link other artists who have this kind of sketchy approach when it comes to their character art. I think I mentioned one before, or I did an art review of an artist similar to this. But again, I can't remember or Yeah, I can't remember. I can't. Oh, I can't remember the name. I will link all of the recommended artists in the description below. So yeah, that's it for this art review of AMO. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any recommendations, comment below. So that's it. I'll see you in the next art review, and yeah, bye.